The overwhelming majority of modern peer-reviewed scientific literature agrees that genetic or biologic factors are not the primary factor driving differences in athletic performance between Black people and white people. In fact, in all the ones I found, they said that this claim is inherently unscientific, and they said that socioeconomic factors better explain why some sports are more predominantly Black. I found these papers, but I also found this graphic, which shows how expensive it is for a kid to get into a sport. And I plotted that price against the proportion of athletes in America that are Black in that sport and found this. Tell me what you see here. So consistently, the more expensive sports see a lower proportion of Black people than their population would suggest. And track and basketball and football are three of the cheapest sports because you can use public facilities like basketball courts and football fields. This plot should tell you everything you need to know about socioeconomic factors affecting Black communities and how that affects what sports Black people play. Black communities are consistently underfunded and held in higher poverty rates. We're at the policymaking level, we could make decisions to fix that, and we don't. And it affects which sports that they are more likely to play. Also, when you look at middle-aged Black and white people and compare their athletic performance, Black people actually perform worse than the white population. And then the authors go on to talk about how poverty levels drive BMI and how if you're constantly devoting all of your time and energy to sell your mind and body to make more money for someone richer than you, you don't have energy to work out at the end of the day. So when I present data and I say, look, schools and communities need to get this funding per person, per student, in order to obtain average, good enough social outcomes and educational outcomes. And predominantly Black and Hispanic schools and communities consistently don't meet that number, and predominantly white schools and communities consistently exceed that number of funding provided. And then you come into the comments and say, I don't care about any of the data you're showing me, about any of the numbers or experts' analysis of those numbers and consideration for other potentially affecting factors. I don't care about any of that. Look at the proportion of athletes in American football and basketball. See, there are athletic differences between Black and white people due to their genetics. You are oversimplifying a complex, nuanced problem. Every single one of these papers looks at socioeconomic status and said that it is much more likely to explain the differences in athletic performance between Black and white people than genetics or biology. This is what I mean when I say white supremacy is not only fucking racist and like it's a great way to make the world a worse place for anyone who's not white, it's also wrong. It's not rooted in reality.